The springs occupied a natural cavern beneath the manor. Stone walls worn smooth by centuries of water. Steam rising thick enough to blur vision. Torches mounted in iron brackets casting flickering orange light that made shadows dance. The water was perfect. Hot enough to relax muscles. Not so hot it burned. It smelled like minerals and stone and heat from deep earth. I sank into the water quickly, hiding under bubbles and steam, keeping everything below my collarbones submerged. The heat felt good against exhausted muscles, against channels still raw from practice failures. Marin had no such modesty. She walked in naked with that same theatrical confidence. Ink marks covering her arms and legs like fishnet. The patterns spreading across her skin in geometric precision, but it wasn't just her limbs. The ink had been cultivated across her entire body. Spiderweb patterns circled her breasts. Perfect spirals that drew the eye inward toward her nipples. More geometric designs spread across her pelvis, leading downward in deliberate lines that guided attention lower, lower, down. I turned away, heat flooding my face. Just barely caught myself before looking too directly. Marin smirked. She'd noticed. Of course she'd noticed. Black lips, smoky eyes. The torchlight made her look otherworldly. Dangerous. Beautiful in ways that made my face heat even more. She slid into the water with languid grace, positioned herself across from me, close enough to see clearly through the steam. Kale arrived last. He paused at the edge, looked at both of us. Something shifted in his expression. Heat and calculation mixing. He undressed without ceremony. I looked away. Tried to. Failed. He was built like a fighter. Athletic muscle. Scars across his ribs and shoulder. The kind of body that came from years of combat training. He was also visibly well endowed. Aggressively obvious in ways that made my blush deepen. Marin laughed.
Don't be shy, sweet thing. Kale has more than enough to go around.
My face burned. Kale just grinned and slid into the water beside Marin. For a while, nobody spoke. Just steam and heat, and the sound of water lapping against stone. The silence felt heavy, weighted with everything we weren't saying.
So?
Kale leaned back against the stone edge. His arms spread along the rim. Casual. Relaxed.
Let's talk about nothing important first. Get comfortable.
Marin started telling stories. Leaned back against the stone edge with theatrical languor.
So there was this absolute disaster of a student at the Imperial Academy. Legacy bloodline, naturally. Convinced he could master Forbidden Severance after reading half a theory text.
Her smile was all teeth.
Tried it in the practice yards, in front of instructors.
What happened? I asked, despite myself.
Severed his own hand clean off, darling.
She examined her nails like discussing amputation was routine.
Just gone. The instructors were horrified. His family was mortified. But the best part...
Her grin widened.
He passed out from shock before anyone could heal him. Woke up 3 hours later and tried to sue the academy for not warning him properly.
Kale laughed.
Wait, I heard about that one. Wasn't his family name? Shit, what was it?
Vexmore.
Marin's voice dripped with disdain.
Absolute pillars of legacy mediocrity. They blamed everyone except their idiot son who couldn't read basic warning labels.
To be fair,
Kale said, grinning,
those warning labels are pretty small, easy to miss. You know, right next to the giant text that says Forbidden Technique, authorized personnel only.
I found myself laughing. Actually laughing. The absurdity cutting through tension. Marin turned those dark eyes on Kale.
Tell her about the instructor who challenged you to a duel.
Oh no.
Kale shook his head, but he was smiling.
Look, in my defense, I didn't mean to embarrass him that badly.
He challenged a student to prove some point about respect.
Marin explained to me.
Kale may have corrected his tactics during a demonstration, politely, in front of the class.
And? I asked. Kale ran a hand through his hair.
Right, so I genuinely thought he wanted feedback, yeah? He was showing this outdated spear technique and I just mentioned that the footwork was inefficient and...
He paused.
Apparently that was a grave insult. He challenged me right there to defend my words.
With real blades,
Marin added, dark amusement in her voice.
I may have disarmed him in about 15 seconds in front of the entire combat class with a training spear against his very expensive heirloom blade.
Kale's grin turned sharp.
He didn't take it well.
Didn't take it well?
Marin's laugh was rough, genuine.
Darling, he threw an absolute tantrum, screamed about cheating, demanded a rematch, then burst into tears when the headmaster said no.
He cried? I couldn't help smiling.
Like a child denied dessert.
Marin confirmed.
It was exquisite. I've never seen someone's ego shatter so completely.
She stretched in the water.
He transferred to a different academy the next week. Couldn't face the shame.
The stories continued. Marin's delivery perfect. That rough voice making even mundane details sound theatrical. Kale adding commentary with his rambling charm. Both of them clearly enjoying making me laugh. The heat and steam and casual conversation creating space where being naked together felt less fraught. Where I could almost forget about the mission. About Jessa and Torin. About everything except this moment. Then Kale's expression shifted, became more serious. The playfulness draining away. He looked at me directly.
You know what I want, Liv.
His voice was quiet, honest.
But what do you want?
The question hit like physical impact. Images flooded my mind. Immediate. Overwhelming. Dane's hands on my skin. The way ritual magic spiraled between us. Building with each rotation until the final convergence obliterated thought. The pleasure of transfer mixing with physical intimacy. How it felt when he moved inside me while our magic flowed together. That perfect synchronization where nothing else existed. The craving hit sharp. Desperate. My hands started shaking under the water. I don't know, I said. The lie tasted wrong.
No.
Marin leaned forward, those dark eyes seeing everything.
You thought of something. We won't judge you, Liv.
I opened my mouth, closed it. My face was burning now. Shame mixing with need.
It's okay,
Marin said. Gentler.
Whatever it is.
I forced myself to breathe, to speak. I thought about how good convergence feels, how good ritual feels. The words came reluctantly. How good transfer feels during... I stopped, couldn't finish.
During sex?
Marin supplied helpfully, that wicked grin returning. Yes. The admission came out barely audible.
Oh.
Marin's smile widened.
So hot, darling.
My blush deepened impossibly. I wanted to sink under the water and disappear. I'm ashamed, I said quietly. That's all I could think of. That I want. Just the rush of casting. The pleasure of transfer. The addiction. My voice cracked. I should want something real. Something meaningful. But all I can think about is how good the magic feels. Kale moved suddenly, shifted closer, his expression intense, understanding.
No, I get it.
His voice was serious now.
Transfer with you is different. It's something about the synthesis.
He looked at Marin.
I'm serious. Something is very different about synthesis transfer.
Marin raised an eyebrow.
I'm jealous. I want to experience it.
It doesn't just feel good
Kale continued.
like it does with you. It's
He paused, searching for words.
imagine every orgasm you've ever had combined with every transfer and every drop of wine you ever drank compressed into 30 seconds.
The description made my hands shake worse. Because he was right. That's exactly what it felt like. That overwhelming euphoria that made everything else disappear. I tried to hide my trembling hands under the water. Failed. Marin slid closer. Moved through the water with that predatory grace. Her hands caught mine. Pulled them into view. Held them gently while feeling the tremors.
It's okay, sweet one.
Her voice was surprisingly tender.
It's okay.
The torchlight caught her face, made the ink around her eyes look even darker. Her black lips curved in something that wasn't quite a smile. More like understanding. Acceptance.
It's okay to not know exactly what you want.
She glanced at Kale. Sly, knowing.
Most people don't.
Right now, I want to find Jessa and Torin, I said, grasping for something concrete. Something I knew for certain. I know I want to do that. Kale made a sound. Half laugh, half groan.
And now I'm imagining some very naughty things, seeing you two so close together.
Both Marin and I blushed. Heat flooding my face. Marin splashed him.
Men's minds always in the gutter.
She stood. Water streaming off her body. Ink patterns visible everywhere. She extended a hand to help me up. I took it. Let her pull me from the water. Tried not to notice how Kale's eyes tracked both of us. How his gaze lingered. Marin noticed too. She grinned at him as she reached for a towel.
Why are you not getting out, Kale?
The implication was obvious. He was visibly aroused. Unable to stand without making it aggressively apparent. My face burned hotter. I wrapped myself in a towel quickly. Tried not to look. Marin gave him a little show. Drying off slowly. Sensually. Every movement theatrical. Deliberate. Making him watch while clearly tortured by the display. Then she wrapped herself up. Extended a hand to help me out of the water. I took it. Let her pull me up. Wrapped myself in a towel quickly while trying not to notice how Kale's eyes tracked both of us. Marin gave him a little show. Drying off slowly, sensually. Every movement theatrical, deliberate. Making him watch while clearly tortured by the display. I opened my mouth. Wanted to say something. Something important about what had just happened. About trust or vulnerability or admitting what I wanted. The words built in my chest. A servant appeared at the cavern entrance. Young, flustered, clearly uncomfortable interrupting.
Lord Kale, forgive the intrusion.
Her eyes darted between the three of us, taking in the scene with obvious discomfort.
There's urgent intelligence from your northern contacts. They say it can't wait.
The moment shattered. Whatever I'd been about to say evaporated. Kale's expression shifted from heated interest to tactical focus in an instant. He stood, started dressing quickly.
I'll be right there.
The servant retreated, relieved to escape the awkward scene. Kale finished dressing without looking at either of us. All business now. He left without another word. Urgent intelligence taking precedence over everything else. Marin sighed theatrically once he was gone. But she didn't protest. We all understood. She turned to me with that knowing smile.
Come on, sweet one.
We dressed and walked through torch-lit corridors back toward our rooms. Her hand on my lower back, guiding, protective almost. The silence comfortable despite the interruption. Something settled between us. At my door, she leaned in, voice pitched low, intimate.
You know, I expect Kale won't know whose room to sneak into tonight.
Heat flooded through me. Not embarrassment this time. Desire. Bright and hot and surprising in its intensity. Marin noticed. Of course she noticed. Her smile turned knowing.
Sleep well, sweet one.
I lay awake after writing in my journal, trying to process everything, the springs, the conversation, the admission about addiction, the way Marin had held my hands so gently. Then I heard sounds through the wall, thumping, rhythmic. Marin's room shared a wall with mine. The sounds unmistakable. She moaned. Low, throaty. Pleasure mixed with that same rough voice that told stories in the springs. My imagination filled in details. Kale above her. Or Marin riding him. The transfer happening between them. That rush of power and pleasure he'd described. Magic pouring through their channels while their bodies moved together. Guilt rose automatic. Familiar. I shouldn't be listening. Shouldn't be imagining. Shouldn't be aroused by the thought of them together. But tonight, I pushed the guilt aside. Let myself engage with the fantasy. I pictured Kale's hands on me instead. His mouth. That moment of transfer as magic poured between us and obliterated everything else. The way he'd described it. Every orgasm and transfer and wine drunk, combined and compressed. My hands started shaking again. Worse now. The withdrawal symptoms getting worse. My skin itched with need. The addiction demanding attention. I needed to cast something. Anything. Just to take the edge off. I sat up. Extended my hands. Let black oil seep from my fingertips. Transformed it to rainbow light. Started weaving small patterns in the air. Just playing. Creating meaningless shapes and dissolving them. Watching the threads respond to my will. Feeling my magic flow. The relief was immediate. Not as intense as convergence or synthesis transfer. But enough. The shaking subsided. The itching faded. I played with the binding for nearly an hour. Creating patterns. Dissolving them. Just feeling the magic move through my channels. Soothing the addiction with whatever I could give it. The sounds from Marin's room had quieted. Faint whispers now. Murmured conversation I couldn't make out. I lay back down. Hands finally still. Let myself imagine Kale. Let myself want without guilt. Tomorrow we'd review intelligence. Tomorrow we'd plan our next move. Tomorrow I'd be practical and logical and focused on the mission. But tonight, in the dark, I let myself want. Let myself admit that I craved the magic, the pleasure, the rush of casting and transfer and everything that came with it. Let myself acknowledge that some part of me wanted Kale too. Wanted to feel what he described. That overwhelming synthesis euphoria that made everything else disappear. I didn't have to act on it. Didn't have to choose it. But I could want it. Could admit it existed. For tonight, that was enough.